Hi, this is Dr. John Bergsma from the St. Paul Center for Biblical Theology and Franciscan University of Steubenville, and we're reading today from my book, Yes, There Is a God and Other Answers to Life's Big Questions. And we're continuing with lines of evidence for God's existence, and we've covered two already, which we called Looking Up, and considering the beginning of the universe and the implications of that, and then Looking Down, which was taking a microscope and looking at the simplest life and pondering how did life arise on earth. And now we're going to look at the third line of argument or evidence, you might say, which I call looking around. So I'll read a couple pages and then we'll talk about this. Next, let's look around us. One of the things we notice about nature, everywhere we look, is that things happen in an orderly way. Things fall to the ground very predictably. We call that force gravity. Sound travels at a predictable speed, and so does light. And we can put numbers to the speed of sound and the speed of light. Our world is ordered and predictable because it follows what we call natural laws. When two pool balls hit each other, we have a math formula that can tell us how fast they will roll away and at what angles. Now, here's an amazing fact. We have discovered that all the natural laws are at exactly the right setting for life to exist on Earth. Gravity is exactly right. If gravity was even slightly stronger, the whole universe would recollapse into a black hole and we would not be alive. If gravity were even slightly weaker, the universe would be nothing but clouds of gas and we would not be alive. But gravity is exactly right, and here we are. The speed of light is exactly right. If light were slightly faster, the universe would be too bright and hot for life. If light were even slightly slower, the universe would be too dull and cool for life. But light is exactly right, and here we are. The same holds true for dozens of other natural laws, the forces of electricity and of magnetism, the tiny forces inside atoms, and so on and so on. Everything is just right for life. We live in a Goldilocks world where everything is just right for us. Scientists have a name for this reality. They call it cosmic fine-tuning. They say the natural laws of the universe are fine-tuned for living things. And not just any living things, but especially human beings. Nature seems to have been designed for us human beings. Even atheist scientists admit that this is one of the strongest evidences that there is a God. Just an aside, this is called the Anthropic Principle. Suppose you walked into a new house and were surprised to find that the rooms were painted in your favorite color and that your favorite meal was laid out on the dining room table, the fridge was stocked with your favorite drinks, and the bedroom was decorated with your favorite photos. Wouldn't you suspect someone knew you were coming? That's how it is with our universe and the earth. It's as if someone knew we were coming. The water, the minerals, the temperature, the light, the gravity, the wind, the waves, the tides, the plants, everything is just what we need. So who set all the laws of nature at exactly the right setting for human life? Common sense tells us it didn't happen by chance. Aliens couldn't have done it because they weren't around at the Big Bang. In fact, nothing in the universe could have set up the laws of the universe. So whoever set the laws of nature must be outside the universe and must have been very smart because the laws of nature are amazing and work together in harmony. And must have been very powerful too, to put limits on the very forces of nature. So once more, we are in need of an all-wise, all-powerful creator outside of time and space. And that's the traditional job description of God. So this is one of my favorite arguments for the existence of God. Again, it's called the cosmic fine-tuning argument. And it's basically making reference to the fact that there are 40 or more natural constants, things like the force of gravity, the speed of light, the weak and strong nuclear forces, and many, many others that we don't even think of. Things like the ratio of protons to electrons in the universe. And all of these natural constants have to be extremely exact in order to allow for life. All of them, in fact, cannot simply be a range above a certain number or a range below a certain number, but all of them are balanced on a knife edge where they can neither be any greater nor any less than what they are. And all of them are exact to more than 37 decimal places. Okay, 1 part in 10 to the 37th is the range of tolerance for the least exact of these natural constants. And some of the constants have to be so exact, things like the expansion rate of the universe and so on, have to be so exact. We're talking about 1 part in 10 to the 53rd and higher. For some of these constants is the level of exactitude that we need in order to get a life-supporting universe, a universe that allows for life. And again, it's not that if you adjust some of these numbers, you get a universe that's suitable for a different form of life or a universe that's less hospitable than life. If you adjust these numbers even a bit up or a bit down, you just get nothing, okay? You just get like an empty universe full of just gas or a single black hole or catastrophic effects like that. Not simply, a universe without koalas or something. No, you just get like no planets, okay? No stars, nothing. Typically by monkeying with these numbers. So it's really one of the strongest evidences for the existence of God out there. It's one of the strongest arguments because evolution doesn't touch this at all. Evolution requires life to already be existing before it can have any effect. So it's completely irrelevant to the natural constants that define the universe, which had to be in place from the very beginning of the universe. The way to get around this that's really popular nowadays is to invoke an infinite multiverse, which is one of the silliest scientific theories that has zero empirical evidence. Like there's no observational evidence of any other universes but our own. And yet, it's really the atheist fear of the fine-tuning argument that is driving these theories of an infinite multiverse, which are now becoming popularized in, Into the Spider-Verse and, different popular movies. Also, Interstellar appealed to this kind of thing. That's all hokum, okay? That's science fiction. It's pseudoscience to begin talking about an infinite multiverse. And even if there was such a thing, a multiverse would have to be fine-tuned as well for a number of different reasons. Even to have a multiverse that could produce, amongst its many universes, a life-supporting universe, you would have to fine-tune that. And Father Spitzer gets into that in his book, which we're going to link to this. But I just want to end with a quote from an atheist scientist, one of my favorites, Sir Fred Hoyle, the greatest astrophysicist in the United Kingdom in the 20th century. He was an atheist who toyed with theism at various times because his research shook up his atheistic confidence, his atheistic faith, if you will, and he almost lost his faith in atheism. But he recovered. But during one of his bouts of doubt about atheism, he published this great comment about fine-tuning. Again, this is Sir Fred Hoyle, British astrophysicist. He says, "A common sense interpretation of the facts suggests that a super intellect has monkeyed with the physics as well as the chemistry and biology, and there are no blind forces worth speaking about in nature." I agree with you, Sir Fred. You've made my argument for me. Well, very good. I hope you've enjoyed this. We'll talk again some other time.